Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and to another tier list video. I know I'm trying to do these tier list videos for fun. That's what I'm trying to do. So today I'm doing the Resident Evil tier list. Yep, a Resident Evil tier list with the Resident Evil games. I have all the games right here, from the main games to the side games as well, spin-off titles. So I'm gonna rank them all, and this is just my own personal opinion on these games. Just a bit of disclaimer, just my opinion on the game. But if you don't like my ranking, and you have your own ranking of the games, leave it down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of those games. So let's begin. Resident Evil Revelations 2. Start with this game. This game was extremely hyped to the highest level because, for good reason, because it actually made two characters we haven't seen in a very long time make the return. Barry Burton and Claire Redfield. We haven't seen Barry since Resident Evil 3. We haven't seen Claire and Code Veronica. It's so good to see them back. The thing about this game is that it's a good game. The story was okay, but I felt like the sequel of this game wasn't as good. So I could definitely give it like a C tier in my opinion in this game. It's a good game, but it's an okay game. But not like memorable to me. The way they handled Claire was so bad, and hopefully I'm gonna make a video of why the Resident Evil female characters are bad, because I want to make a video like that, just discussing them, how terrible they are. That may be a video, hopefully. So I believe that this game was really hitting the mark, but in terms of horror, it doesn't exist. To be honest, it's more like an action shooter. There are like one cool enemy that's called the Revenant. Yeah, Revenant. Yeah, the Revenant. They're really cool enemies. I really like them. They're by far like the coolest looking enemies in the game. They felt like they're pretty creepy. Really creepy enemies and really good. So, decent game. Really decent. Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Now, this game of course was hyped, and this game brought back the horror elements the Resident Evil series has been lost ever since games like this, 6, and 5. Well, I give this game as well a C tier. My reasoning for it is because the story was okay. Ethan Winters is by far the worst main character of all time. Like, literally, the guy has no character, no personality, has nothing. Bland as fucking, like, bland as, like, a, bland and, like, just, like, it's like basically having a pizza with no toppings whatsoever. There you go. That's basically how bland it is. Is really a bland character. Mia, I didn't really give a shit about. She's a damsel in distress. Never even cared about Zoe. Jack Baker kind of made the game pretty well, and even though this game went back to its horror roots, I believe that this game kind of, brought back the horror elements, but kind of didn't bring back the elements like, just say, the old Resident Evil games have, like the way they should be, and all that stuff. Even the DLCs even was good, so the DLCs were good. The Mercenaries 3D, I never played it. It's basically Mercenaries mode with its own game, so I'm not gonna rank that game, unfortunately. Resident Evil 5, I'll bring this game up to B tier, just because this game is a hell of a lot of fun with 2 players. The story's pretty okay, The story's pretty good. I like the story of this game. I like the gameplay. The gameplay is basically RE4 gameplay, so it's perfect. It's already good. But this game is where the series became full action. This is the start of the downfall with this game. That's why I don't bring this game up to a higher rank. This game is fun and has pretty high replay values. Playing different difficulties, unlocking weapons. There's some good characters like Josh, Sheva, like Wesker was pretty cool as the main villain. So it's a pretty good game. So yeah, it's pretty good. So Resident Evil 5, fun game, play with friends, really fun. Mercenaries was pretty damn fun. But this is where it was the downfall of the Resident Evil series. This is where the downfall started for me. Reverse. This game hasn't come out yet, and this game is a colossal failure. So I'm not even gonna rank it. It's not even worth ranking it. The Outbreak games, I have never played them, but if I had to rank them, they're pretty much. I'll give them both. Where's the other one? Where's the other Outbreak game? Yes, yep, there though. I'll put them both in A. Even though I never played, I've seen gameplays of them. I found them to be a very fun game. And Capcom, please make these two games. Like, make it happen. These games will be fun online. Seeing online gameplay and seeing gameplay is basically the old style gameplay with friends. This game will be tons of fun to play with friends. I guarantee this game will be a lot of fun, and I'll have a lot of enjoyment playing these games personally. They're really good. So they're really good games, and I would like to see them. Even though I don't play them, I give them a higher rank compared to this, but because they're basically old school Resident Evil games. They're basically an old school camera style and the way how Resident Evil should be. Resident Evil Dead Aim, I really don't much care about it. Really, it's just on the ship and it's okay. Darkside Chronicles, one of the rail shooting Resident Evil games. Okay, I'll put this. I'll put this actually A, and I'll put Umbrella B. I found this one has a way better story. It has its original story, and as well retelling Resident Evil 2 and Code Veronica. They've done a lot of good things in like here with Code Veronica with the Code Veronica one with the Ashfords, Alexia being like kind of like a kid. She's more kid like. So Alexia has a perfect presentation or interpretation of the character. Is way better here than in the original game, in my opinion. So that's like kind of a plus. They're both the same gameplay, but this one's a lot easier and a lot more fun. This is a little bit harder. And they both have like, stories that are canon in this series, like Project Javier, and here with Umbrella's End, and the Nightmare levels and all that stuff. Even the Rebirth, all those DLC, they're pretty good. Both of them are really good games, but I like Darkside Chronicles more. I like the soundtrack even more in this one. So there's a lot of like lore. They add more stuff to it in this one. So it's basically this game, like these two games, are based on the original game. This one based on the remake. You can replay Resident Evil 0, the Resident Evil 1 remake, and Resident Evil 3 the original. This one, Code Veronica, and Resident Evil 2 the original. So it's not the remake. Speaking of the remake, we got one of them right here. Resident Evil 3 remake. I'll give this game a C tier. What a massive disappointment this game is. It was a massive disappointment. When I've heard of this game was when this game was developed at the same time as Resident Evil 2 remake, I thought it would be kind of like, that's kind of cool. But I felt like this game was a big miss in comparison. This game is much more towards the action segments. I know Resident Evil 3, the original, was a bit action, but there's still some horror parts in it. And there are some like systems about it. I know that Resident Evil 3, there is gonna be a big update, like a Nemesis edition. The Nemesis edition, I don't think it's like kind of real. I already made a video. If they done that, I already made a video. I might link it down below of a video, but I'm not sure if it's like gonna be legit. So Resident Evil 3, And there's not even a lot of there's not gonna be like a lot. There's no side content. The only side content they have is this game here, which I'll put it in D. This game is a piece of crap. It's basically the side content, which is it's a crappy fucking game. A Dead by Daylight, one killer versus four survivor gimmick. It's a gimmick game. It's garbage. Just like this one's a gimmick game. You know what? I'll put even this one the same gimmick. Any games that are basically gimmicks like these two should be at the very bottom because they're the worst fucking thing. Resident Evil 1, the original. I have to pay respect to the original, and I can put it in the B tier. Classic, original, and it's a really good game. Still amazing. Even though this game had multiple versions, even the greatest hits when they changed the soundtrack to that, to that song, if you guys know what I'm talking about, the goddamn basement theme. So, so I believe, give the game some respects. This is the original, so it's a pretty good game. Pretty good game. This is where it all began. It all started. Love for the series. Resident Evil 0, the last old school Resident Evil game that came out, and it came out in 2002. The same time that the remake came out. This one gets the C tier as well. This is one of my least favorite like old school Resident Evil game. I'm not really a fan of this game, to be honest. It's basically a prequel. It happened like a day before the main game, so this is how long it is, and it gives you a story about Wesker and Birkin and all that stuff, and Dr. Marcus and everything, and heck, Billy Cohen, a character who needs to return. God damn it, Capcom, make the character back, so just leave him out of the gutter. So Resident Evil 0 is a really good game, really good game. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. It joins with Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 1. Way better than the remake. The remake was such a disappointment. This one is way better. This one's way better. No, I'll give it an A. It's way better than this crap. Play the original Resident Evil 3. It's 10 times better. This is Gun Survivor. I don't know what this game is. This. Oh, it's actually called Veronica. Gun Survivor 2. I'm not gonna rank that game. It's not even worth it. If I put a rank, I'll put this in like. I'll put it in D. I really don't care much about it. Umbrella Corps. Don't give a shit about it. Let's get out of here. Revelations is one of my favorites. One of my favorite Resident Evil games. So it takes place on a ship. Although I know originally this game was originally supposed to be Hunk's game on the original, and originally Chris was supposed to be the main villain. But and heck, one of the first trailers, like the debut trailer, was what the story was pretty much interesting, but then they kind of screwed the story. That concept they originally had was way better, and this is kind of bringing back the horror slowly. Brings back the horror. The enemy designs are amazing. By far the best enemy design in the series, to me. It's an amazing game, and I really like this over this one. This one was such a disappointment. It was okay. Not a disappointment, but it's okay. But I like this one more. Resident Evil 2 Remake. This game needs like one of my first S ranks of many. Amazing game. Sticking to the original story. Sticking to the original story. They like had all the original. They added some new things. New like areas were gone from 1.5. This is a perfect Resident Evil game. For the first time in 15 years, Capcom finally nailing an actual good Resident Evil game for the first time in 15 years. It's amazing, awesome, and I would recommend playing this. It's an amazing game. I love it. Okay. Operation City, I'll give this game a C. It's kind of my guilty pleasure game. This is my guilty pleasure. Even though it should be a part of the gimmick ones be at the very bottom, I have sometimes a soft spot for this game for some fucking weird reason. I kind of like this game in some kind of weird way. But yeah, it's my guilty pleasure. I don't mind playing it, actually. It's not as bad as I think. Even I replayed it recently this year. It's not as bad as I think. It's pretty okay. Resident Evil 2, the original, joins with the remake. That's pretty much a perfect game right there. The original and the remake are two perfect games. I love the original a lot. I love the original since I laid eyes on it on YouTube 10 years ago. When I first laid my eyes on this game, awesome. Really awesome game and really loving it. The story was really good, and the story in this one is a bit different. It's more of a reimagining. They kind of like fucked up the story a little bit here in this one, but here the story was way better, in my opinion. But both of them are amazing. Back to the Resident Evil 2 remake. This game has way more content compared to this piece of crap. It has this piece of shit game. So, alright, we're getting to the good ones right now. Resident Evil 1 remake, one of my absolute top favorite Resident Evil game, the remake of the original. Now this is by far, of all the remakes, this is the best remake. I mentioned so many times, this is the best remake out of all the remakes. It's amazing. It's awesome. It's a full-fledged remake of the original game. It came out for the GameCube in 2002, re-released in Resident Evil Archives, Resident Evil with Resident Evil 0. 0 was kind of a bit of a letdown, but this one, I would recommend playing this over the original. I would highly recommend playing this over the original. They add more content, they add new story lore with George Trevor, which is canon. Play this. I recommend playing this. Really awesome. Crimson Head enemies even. It just introduces the Crimson Heads, which are scary as shit. They're scary as all hell. Fucking terrifying enemies. Really fucking good. Really good game. RE4. Come on. Come on, it's obvious. It's just extremely obvious and everybody knows it. If you've been on my channel for so long, I've been playing, this is pretty much the most played game on my channel. My YouTube channel, I played this game 100 times. My first Resident Evil game. I love this game so much. Story, really good story, amazing gameplay, amazing badassery, Leon being a badass, annoying, Ashley being annoying, the side stuff. This game is amazing. I fucking love this game. The settings, all that is a fucking masterpiece. It's a goddamn masterpiece of a fucking game. And this game spawns a genre of gaming, spawns the third person. If this game wasn't as a big success, Uncharted wouldn't even made. Dead Space wouldn't even a thing. Most third person cover based shooter are basically would not be as good if this game wasn't even popular, or was this game breaking the fucking records. This is one of the best freaking game. Show respect to this game that gives you all the third person freaking shooter games. They all learn from this game. Resident Evil Code Veronica, S rank, really one of my favorites. This game is my first ever Resident Evil old school game. It's actually my second Resident Evil game I ever played. Love this game. I really loved it. The soundtrack's amazing. The story is really good. The characters are amazing. I like the characters in this game. The Ashfords, they give me the creeps. But really, really good. And this game deserves a remake. This game deserves a remake. And I really, in my PS4, I have this on the PS4 version. I never delete this game. I kept it just to play it every now and then. It's an amazing game, and it's a game that I would recommend playing. Even though this game is the original Resident Evil 3, and Resident Evil 3 was supposed to be called Resident Evil The Last Escape, it makes sense to follow. It makes sense to follow Resident Evil 2, but it went the other way. Capcom, remake this game. What are you waiting for? Alright, now we're getting to the end now, guys. We're getting to the end. Resident Evil Survivor. I really don't care. I'm not even going to rank this. Nor Resident Evil Gaiden. Gaiden is just a 8-bit Resident Evil. Resident Evil 6. My least favorite Resident Evil game as well. This game, the commercials and the trailers are amazing. of this game, they're fucking awesome. They, you play as basically you have 4 characters across different campaigns. I got 4 campaigns of Leon, Chris, Jake, and Ada. Really good campaigns, really fun, but this is actually Michael Bay. Like, Derek D. Simmons is by far the worst villain. He's kind of reminds me of the Argus. He's basically the Argus X from Devil May Cry 2. That's basically, it's like kind of identical in some way. And even though this game is fun with friends, but honestly, this game is fully action. It's just not Resident Evil whatsoever. It feels like a Michael Bay movie. It's a Michael Bay movie, literally. Michael Bay, the video game. It's a bunch of explosions and crazy shit. And the C virus and all that. It's a fucking mess of a story. It's a freaking mess. Even the gameplay is a fucking mess, even. You remove a good formula, just this game has a better formula of gameplay. You ruined it for this. This is not even that good. I'm sorry. Now, for the final game, which is pretty much the most recent game, Resident Evil Village. Let's put the place is this game. This game deserves to be in C tier. Listen, guys. Listen. This game, I had no hopes for this game being succeeded because this game is just like Resident Evil's like 7. Like, these games supposed to be deserve to be together. This game does not deserve to be praised like crazy. The reason people like this game is because of Lady Dimitrescu. That's why people like this game and put it in a higher list. There are some good characters like Heisenberg and the Duke. The rest are all crap. And like, even when Ethan died, I didn't have nothing for him. I have no sympathy for the guy. I didn't care. Because honestly, Resident Evil Village, even was nominated for Game of the Year, it's stupid. Because honestly, this game, the reason it's popular is because of Dimitrescu. You don't lie. Don't even lie. That's the truth. Because in this game, even though there's no DLC, this game could be turned to B if the DLCs are good. But honestly, if I don't feel like this game is actually as good as like this game is basically hold on, not this game, sorry. This game is basically Resident Evil 7 Part 2. It's basically a continuation of this game. It's continuing. It's, I think, to be like the first Resident Evil that actually continues where it left off actually left off. It's like one of the first Resident Evil games that has that. But this game right here is not that good. I'm telling you this. This game is not as good as people think. People play this because of Lady Dimitrescu. That's why the reason this game, people like this game. Why this game was nominated Game of the Year. And I'm glad that this game wasn't win Game of the Year. Because if it did, that is literally the worst thing. That's literally, I would say this is the worst goddamn. This game does not deserve to be winning the Game of the Year award. And I'm glad they didn't win. To have that it takes 2 games instead. So thank God it's not this game. Thank God it's not this game, to be honest. And if the DLC comes out, and I hope the DLCs are good and worth the wait. If not, I'll keep this game to C. I was going to give it a D rank. And honestly, the game, I have pretty low expectations. And even when this game's trailer came out, even though I spent many hours in platinuming this game, you would think I would like the game. But no. Honestly, the game got repetitive. This game is way more action. So it's like this. It's like this game, basically. It's more action-oriented. If you put Resident Evil 7 on a higher note, and a higher list, let's just say if I put this in A tier, I might put this in A tier as well with it. Or B tier. If it's worse, or S tier is good. Like, this game does not deserve, like, a higher rank. This game deserves a C tier. In my opinion. But it's just your own personal preference. If you like this game, if you like Resident Evil Village, and you even think it's amazing, that's fine. But honestly, I think this game is one of, like, this game will become forgettable soon. I guarantee you, this game, in a few years, people will forget about this game. People will not remember this game whatsoever, because we live in a day and age that people get hyped over one thing and then they never talk about it forever. That's how the fucking world works nowadays. It's fucking stupid. So yeah, that's my list. As you can see, the top good games are here. The second best, the third best, the my first least, and my least. There you go. All those are the Resident Evil games I believe that's deserve to be ranked. So yeah, that concludes the video. What's your ranking of the game? What is your own ranking of the game, and what do you think your opinion on, what do you think? Do you agree with what I say, and you agree with this game's placements? Do you guys think that this game, that you have your own rank? Do you have your own opinions on games? If that's so, please let me know down in the comments what you think of each Resident Evil game. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.